Okay, official. We're kicking off this webinar. Good afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever you're coming at to us in this beautiful world of ours. We want to thank you for joining us today. We're here to talk about KPAX, which is ACDI's new fleet management program. I say new. We've been doing this for over 18 months now. I don't know when that new title comes off, but still new and exciting for us. And we're really glad to have the gentleman from Blue Mega here to talk with us today about where we're going, what we've done, that kind of stuff over the last 18, 24 months with the partnership. Throughout the presentation today, if you guys have questions, please feel free to use the chat box, the Q&A, and we've got a whole host of people on here, whether they're technical or sales oriented. We would be more than glad to answer those questions for you. And kind of with that, we'll get started. My name is Mark Hart. I'm the Vice President of Business Development here at ACDI. And along with us, we have David Brown. David, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, hey, my name is David Brown. I'm the manager of KPAX services here at ACDI.
Sebastian.
Yes. Bonjour à tous. Hello to everyone. My name is Sébastien Créneau, and I'm the president of Blue Mega. And like all company president, I try to be a little bit everywhere and nowhere at the same time. But my day-to-day work for Blue Mega is more focused on sales, communication, and marketing.
Wonderful.
And hi to everyone. First of all, thank you for having us on this call and welcome to everybody. I am Alban Lescoat, and I am the general manager of the company and KPAX product owner. And we are at the office at Blue Mega, close to Paris. So welcome home.
Well, thank you guys very much. And for those of you that are on the line today, we do want to say thanks again for joining us and talk a little bit about the partnership and why ACDI entered into this world of fleet management that would traditionally seem more like a red ocean, right? There's been a lot of competitors in this market for a long time. It seems to be a very seasoned market. Not a lot of change is what we saw. And really the request came from our partners such as you all to say, hey, what's different? What can we do different in this market of fleet management? And so we began the process at the beginning of 2019, really evaluating, is this a market that ACDI can enter into and be unique and try to do something different to add value beyond what partners would see with fleet management, their fleet management partners that they had at that time. And so we started looking at current vendors in the US and really didn't see anything that fit the ideal partnership of ACDI. You guys know that, first and foremost, we look for partners who are like us in that they care about their employees, they care about their customers, and they think channel first. And so we started going beyond the US boundaries and looking globally. And what's funny is we had our Blue Mega in our own backyard in that they are a paper cut ASC as well. And we started talking to these guys a couple of years ago. We met in Australia. We were doing some demos, maybe at like 3 o'clock in the morning out on a balcony, looking at some software and having a good time. And it was like, you know what, maybe this is the fit for us. And so we started evaluating the product, looking at what they were doing, looking at what they were wanting to do and wanting to become, not just in today's market, but looking at the future. And it was a great fit. And so the thing that really helped ACDI pull all of this together is the gentleman in the checkerboard on my bottom left and David Brown. We knew that this was new for ACDI. Our specialist had focused on print management in the past. Fleet management was a whole new skill set for us. And so we went out and in the market and grabbed David, who had a long history in the fleet management space. Didn't know that he lives 20 minutes from my house. Sure, we'd ran into each other sometime throughout the industry. but it was, it was a great addition to bring David on and have his views and his vision of what we were doing for fleet management. And so it's been a great ride, and we're doing great things. We've had some wonderful feedback from our partners that have joined early on with the KPAX program, with ACDI, and all the unique things. So we're excited. We hope that throughout this meeting today, it's really going to be conversational. We want you guys to hear from us why we chose this path, why we chose to partner with KPAX, and why we think it is something that you should consider. We don't take it lightly that converting from your existing fleet management partner to a new choice would be an easy process. We understand that, but we think that we've created some things and to make it easier, and we have a compelling product on the back end that will definitely help you and help that decision be a lot easier for you guys. So with that, I'm going to kind of jump in, and that was the ACDI spiel on why we chose to go down the partnership and working with KPAX. But I'd like to throw it over to the guys in France and say, hey, what are your thoughts? What's the history of Blue Mega? Why did you guys start entering and working with other partners? And what's your vision for the company moving forward?
Okay, thank you, Mark, and thank you for your trust regarding Blue Mega and KPAX. To explain why we work through an MVP partners and why we choose ACDI to be in North America, it is important for us to explain a little bit the history and the philosophy and the value of Blue Mega. Blue Mega was created in 1995 and was bought out in 2013 by 9 of its historical employees. And we must today remain active in the company as an employee, and it's important to know that, to understand the philosophy, which is a very oriented customer. So today, Blue Mega, this is 25 employees. We have a turnover around 5 million euro, and the head office is just located near Paris, what we call the Greater Paris Technology Park. It's a little bit the French, small French Silicon Valley. And concerning KPAX, we have today more than 500 subscriptions, including around 500 in Western Europe. So today, the job of a partner like ACDI, what we call a KPAX major valuable partner, is to represent, is to exclusively represent KPAX on a territory, to promote it and to ensure all the value-added services around the solution. And to understand why we choose to work with an exclusive network MVP partners and not directly, especially in other regions and in the world than France and French-speaking countries. It's to understand why we choose ACDI and not another one. I would like to share the information that the first version of KPAX was released in 2009, but before being a software editor, that's why I explained Mark, Blue Mega was and is still today a value-added distributor, especially for paper cut on the territory of France and French-speaking country. It was during a paper cut event, paper international meetings, that we got to know ACDI and we met Mark and Josh. So the first answer of that is because we are wholesale, historically a value-added distributor in our region. It is in our culture to believe and to think that there is nothing better than a value-added distributor to do the work of promotion, and especially the work of support and accompaniment to the satisfaction of the future users of KPAX. Okay, this is the principle of working through a major valuable partner. Is also that it meets the language and the culture requirements of the territory we try to cover. If we arrive on a new territory with just our own sales, it will be, of course, less efficient to answer the promotion of KPAX, but also to answer all the necessary support, especially since a solution like KPAX is very structuring and critical for our partners. So we think that it is absolutely necessary to have a structure, a partner able of providing support and value-added services from the beginning of the pre-sales to the implementation up to the operational support. Even if we try to do everything to make KPAX simple and easy. So the power of a partner, of an MVP like ACDI is more efficient for you to guarantee the support. Then the question, the other question you asked, Mark, was around the choice of ACDI, because why ACDI and not another? First and very simply, KPAX was a truly complementary offer to the catalog of ACDI, but especially visiting ACDI in 2017, when we prepare the arrival of KPAX in North America, we were very impressed with the organization, the resource, the means that are available to ensure the sales, the support, and all the professional services. So then we realized very quickly with Alban that we share the same value as these guys, like Mark explained, such as transparency, customer first, an idea of the customer first philosophy, the idea of cultivating efficiency, and offering something simple and easy. Okay. So we were convinced, and honestly and personally, I was finally convinced that working with ACDI was the right choice when Mark made me drink a Kentucky bourbon on the roof of a building in the Montmartre district of Paris. And I realized that this guy knew more about the history of some street in Paris than I did. That's when I stopped thinking that them we have to work with them.
And I still have picture of that night.
Yeah, that was a great time. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, I like that guy. It comes back to culture, right, and what we all try to do, and it's the partnership. You know, people like to work with people, and it was definitely a great partnership when we started working with you guys. And you know, I think that kind of, you know, leads into the next question that comes up. It's like, you know, why did ACDI think about moving into this market? And when we look at the players who are here today, there's a massive consolidation going on, and it has been over the last few years. And so when you see consolidation happening, and you know, there's a singular player out there that probably has 95-98% of the market, there's some consequences of that, right? When you start bringing in you know, outside dollars and gobbling up the competition, a couple things happen. When they want to get more revenue, there's only a couple of ways, you know, either raise prices or start laying off people, and you know, support and other things are they start lacking in those instances. And so ACDI wanted to be different. We wanted a partner that was looking not only at technology, they want to invest in technology, they want to invest in new things, and that's what we wanted to partner with, and why we picked KPAX and Blue Mega is looking at the future roadmap. But I think to help validate that was David. You know, David, what was your thoughts a couple of years back when you and I sat down and we said, hey, we're looking to do this, and we need somebody to lead this? What were your thoughts?
Well, my initial thought, Mark, and I remember the conversation that you and I had, is I remember asking, why, because like you said, it was kind of that red ocean picture, the market's so full. And then you got me in touch with Sebastian and Albin at Blue Mega. And first, for all of you out there, as I've worked for Printfleet and ECI, and I've worked on the dealer side where I've used fleet management tools. I've seen pretty much every tool that we have in our market and most of the tools that are in the European market. And there's a lot of redundancy. And so the first thing that really hit me when I talked with Sebastian and Albin and saw the KPAX interface and the way it was designed was just a breath of fresh air. There's so much intuitiveness. And then, a big part of that was the Liberty Box and being able to have options for installing an agent on a customer's network. And, so the Liberty Box, and you can have all the features and functions that you want, but if you can't stay connected to the customer's network, it really doesn't matter. It's like having a Lamborghini that won't start. If it doesn't start and run, it doesn't help you at all. So the thought process behind what they did with Liberty Box, and that's something I want to kick the question back over to Sebastian and Albin is with Liberty Box. I would love to have you guys share some of the story, or the story behind the development of that. Take us through your mindset of the development process and kind of the problem that solves, because that to me was one of the big drivers for my decision to come and start talking about KPAX.
Yeah, sure. I can take that one. First of all, the project started in 2014, and at that time we already knew that 90 to 95% of end customers were small to medium-sized companies that have no complexity in their IT infrastructure, such as no server, no proxies, no few subnetworks, and equally quite little IT skills, internally to maintain this architecture. And so the installation of agents are therefore done, on workstations. The first workstation you find, which represents a rather unstable environment for collection a collection agent. And so we started asking questions about this, instability, and the figure we had is like 30 to 40% of those installation trigger an intervention of a technician during the year because the user just uninstall the agent, or formatting of the PC, or a migration to another workstation, or maybe holidays, well, 30 to 40%. It also means that reseller reinstall the whole fleet of agents every 2 to 3 years, and so it's a lot of work, really a lot of work. And this disconnection is not due to the skill and of the technician, or the quality of the solution, whatever the solution. Or whatever the industry, by the way. It's just a piece of software you install on an unstable and dangerous environment for a piece of software. And so so we thought that, however, the regularity and the stability of the agent is extremely important issue, since it is vital to invoicing, and when it comes to the supply workflow, and so came this question: how can we take out of the equation the parameters that the distributor or KPAX does not control? And so we thought about several ideas. The first one was to install or to develop an embedded version of the agent. But not all models allow to install application, and each manufacturer are different. For instance, what happens if the manufacturer upgrade its OS and our agent stop running? How does the manufacturer manage priorities when you have several applications installed on the same device? And so finally, we would have replaced one problem with another. So we have excluded that idea. After that, I think that the second idea was to use a mini PC, like Arduino or Raspberry Pi. So I don't know, maybe I have one here.
Yeah, a lot of companies go that route. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you know what it is. I don't know if you see it correctly, but so that's a small PC. It is called a Raspberry Pi. You can install an operating system like a Linux or a Windows. I think Windows 10. Yeah, you have an embedded version for that. But it's still an OS, it's still an operating system, and with all this complexity and security, which I can't guarantee the security on a Windows environment. I'm pretty sure you can't either. And so with the Raspberry Pi, come a lot of other problems. It's still an operating system like a mini PC. You have to install at the customer place, and you have to explain to the customer that it's a small PC. And the customer will have no control on that. So we are literally putting a foreign computer inside the IT of the customer without giving him the ability to manage that. And the guarantee that this system is secure. Funny fact, I don't know if you have heard about the story of the NASA being hacked by a Raspberry Pi, but it happened like 1 or 2 years ago, maybe more, where one of the employee brought a Raspberry Pi in the company, and they had like a security breach, and the NASA had some data stolen because of that. So yeah, once again, we would have replaced one problem with another. So again, we have excluded the idea. And finally, we have decided to take the hard way and develop our own electronic box with the goal of making the product simple and suitable for the printing market. So for instance, on the Raspberry Pi, you have a HDMI output and an audio output for USB. So we don't care about that for the printing market. But on the Liberty, we have designed the product so it really suits the the need when you are a technician on the go and you need to to quickly set up the box. You have a Wi-Fi in it. You can just take your smartphone, plug it to the Wi-Fi, and it's done in a few minutes. We also added 2 Ethernet ports with a switch in it. So it is really suitable for this industry. So basically, this is a good example of how we can use modern technology, and we can just mix this technology, make the technology suitable for specific needs, specific market. How we verticalized a need, and so it took us 2 years to get the first commercial version. It was a small version, and 2 years after that, we have this version, a little bit more powerful, and I'll say that probably 10% of our agents are Liberty today, and this number is increasing every month. And by the way, there is a video out there that explains how we built that, how we produced the Liberty, and that explain you all the production chain. It's just cool to watch how we built an electronic device. I think it's interesting. So maybe we can pass the link of the video. I think it's on the ACDI channel, YouTube channel, and KPAX YouTube channel.
It is. We posted it out there before we post it again. It's a great video and informative. I think one of to me, kind of the interesting things that you brought up there was the Wi-Fi card that's in the Liberty. And when we launched, as Mark said, we launched the KPAX solution in April of 2020. And when it came out, we're right in the middle. We're right at the beginning of the pandemic, and access to customer environments where it was significantly limited, and here in the US, depending on what state you lived in. But we had multiple dealers that came back and said that Wi-Fi card, being able to access it from the smartphone, not having to actually touch the customer's computer. We could just go plug it in, activate it via our smartphone was huge. So it was well thought out.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. You also have like a public web page where you can auto discover the Liberty connected to the network. So it is basically you get up, the Liberty out of your pocket and you plug it, and it's really easy to use. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of the feedback we've gotten back is just the I hate to use a buzzword, but seamlessness or just the ease of use of KPAX. And one of the other things I was going to ask you about while we're on the topic is the user interface. We always get feedback that it's clean, it's easy to use, and we're showing it on the screen right now. Kind of take me through the approach to the UI and how you designed it to be so intuitive.
Basically, we won't take any credit for that because I think that KPAX has always been driven and designed with the needs of the field in mind. Because we are no reseller, we are no user of our own product. So what we have done with the V3 is we have probably learned a lot from the mistakes we've done in V2 UI. How the flow of the people are daily using our product in V2, and we surrounded ourselves with the UI and UX professionals, and basically it was like a long process. We took several months to process everything and think about a simpler interface, and I think it is by combining those two worlds, the UX and UI and the needs, the new way, the new workflow, that we end up with the interface today, which is, I think, very functional and simple, colorful, maybe a refreshing interface.
No, it's really clean. It's really easy
blue.
to use. Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
Yes, very blue for blue ocean, right? New, engaging, right? There's a whole theme with it. I didn't come up with that. Someone just chatted that to me, but I do like the use of that.
That's true. I do like the blue. That's my favorite color.
Nice. And one of the other things that you'd mentioned, and I'm going to take the conversation and rewind it just a little bit, was on the trend of mobile computing, laptops replacing desktop workstations, cloud solutions replacing servers. And I think traditionally, especially in our market, if you're going in and you're installing fleet management, you're putting it on a workstation or a server. And so we're seeing a trend away from desktop workstations and servers more to laptops, mobile computing tablets, and cloud solutions. Do you think there's the possibility? I mean, what I see is that there's really more and more need for something like the Liberty rather than a traditional agent. Do you see a time or a day where the software-based agent becomes obsolete, or at least for a part of the customer base?
Completely obsolete, no. I think we will always need software agents because they are solutions that work very well in stable environments, maybe such as a large account, or when you have IT skills to maintain the complexity. So I don't think that we will remove completely softwares. However, I think it is important to have a hardware alternative. Because people are more and more used to mobility, both at home and in enterprise. So I do agree on that. And even small, medium-sized company, I do agree. We see more and more people with only laptops and smartphones, and they work this way. So I think it is good to have the alternative, but I wouldn't say that software will disappear completely. A data collector agent will disappear. And if we think about the Liberty, we haven't designed the Liberty to replace software agent. It is just an alternative when the software agent is installed in an unstable environment. and often disconnected, or when it is easier to deploy a hardware box because you have no place, nowhere else to put it. So it's just an alternative.
No, and I'm glad to hear you say that. Go ahead, Mark.
No, please go ahead.
I was glad to hear you say that, because I think having the choice, and because there are larger SMB customers, there are enterprise customers where, especially with KPAX, you can put in multiple agents to manage that environment adequately. But what we're seeing, especially from our dealers, is more and more of those. There's 30 employees and they all have laptops, and that's it. And they've got 3 MFPs in the environment, or 2. And how do you manage those adequately and get information coming in day after day without having that drop? So I think in the small businesses, which make up so much of our growing customer base, most of our a lot of our new customers are small businesses. The Liberty is probably the only option, at least the only safe option. Going back to your note on the Raspberry Pi there.
Without compromising the security
exactly
the customer place, and even you don't have to trade features either. What you can do with a software agent, you can do it with a suits the best. I'm going to voice KPAX. That's the only question you have to keep in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really goes back. Sorry, David. It goes back to kind of what the ACDI theme is, and trying to meet our partners where they are. Right. You're going to have customers, depending on what their locations are, that do have great servers, and you can put a software agent in it. There's others that, for ease of use, putting that Liberty box Velcro to the back of a machine using the power over Ethernet, to where it's completely unnoticeable. You're plugging it in there. Maybe it's just collecting data. It can do everything for you. With the use of just, like you said, Wi-Fi, connecting it to an app, and you're up and running, right? You don't have to ask someone to get access to their PC to set it up. So it's that flexibility, and I think that's the thing that I love the most about working with you guys and your product, is looking at all the different options. You're not saying, well, it's easier just to develop the software agent, so we're going to just keep going on that, and just put it on a Raspberry Pi if you want. That's not the best solution. We know that. We've heard that time and time again, that putting agents on Raspberry Pis out there opens you up to a world of security concerns. And with everything going on in the market today with regarding security and security breaches, I don't want to be part of another avenue of opening something up. So, we do like this, and we think that the Liberty box is a game changer when it comes to this. And so I do have the interface up here. We're getting a lot of questions of, hey, are you going to click on any buttons? And I'll kind of show you a little bit of the interface. I'm not going to get into a big demo. David's going to laugh, because, David loves to do these demos, and he's afraid I'm going to kind of mess this up, but I promised him I would keep it very high level. So as Albin and David both have mentioned, the usability of this interface, the clean, fresh look of it is really something that made us attracted to this product. It looks very, it's similar whether you're looking at it from a tablet, a mobile device, or on your PC. You get to see everything that's going on within your accounts. There's a lot of filters you can search off of, but you can see which agents are running. You get all of the details here. You can select to modify your accounts, right? It's a simple, easy to use interface. When you start looking at the agents, you see all the different agents, the serial numbers, IP addresses, all the information, all the metadata about what's going on in a particular account. You have this screen here that's going to walk you through everything that you need. You can group your agents together. You can add additional agents. All of it's right here on the simple, easy to use interface. This is what I love, is being able to see all of the devices and what's going on with the devices in your particular environment. There's some tags here that you might not be used to, of managed and unmanaged, but what we give you the ability to do within this software is it's not, if you plug it up in every device that the Liberty box or the agent finds, you have to pay money for, right? You get to select what you want to do with it. And you can even go into being able to look at under surveillance. Do you want meter reads from this? Just supplies. Maybe it's a third-party machine, or it's not your device. You didn't sell it, but they want to buy toner from you, or they're just buying service from you, or you want to overall how many meters are actually going, or printed pages are going to those devices. You have that ability to be flexible and look at exactly what you want to do with that particular device. And it's really going to lead into why I wanted to show you this is one of the final differentiators of what the KPAX product is, and that's the billing options that we have. And I'll get into that in just a second. But I did want to show you that just if you're used to paper cut today, there's a lot of ways to set up rules, whether it's duplex printing or turning color off with emails. There's a lot of rules that you get to set up within KPAX, right? Whether it's levels of toner, when they're going low based on a particular OEM manufacturer. If you want to get into specific alerts, there's a lot of different customized actions and rules management that you can view and set up based on your particular customers within KPAX. It's very simple. It's intuitive. The last page that I love more than anything is the statistics. You have the ability here to create dashboards, and you get to see exactly what's going on within your particular environment. And I think, everybody's talking about big data and what do you do with it, and having that capability of having access to information right in front of you, telling about all of your customers and all of their environments, I think is super powerful. I love it even more because we can tie it in with the paper cut data, right? So you have fleet management data coming from KPAX. You have your print management data, the users, the who, what, when, where, why, and how coming from paper cut. You're merging that together and, using a product like ACDI Storyboard to really, Paul Harvey says, tell the rest of the story. And that's what this allows you to do, right? You have that ability to look at MPS 2.0 of merging all this data together, that you can go into a customer and say 21% of your pages are on an HP, and here's the 14 people that are printing to it, and here's the number of pages that are being printed and time of day and all that kind of good stuff. You get to merge all of this together because of the complexity of the data and the analytics on the back end. And so, again, easy to use, simple interface, but the real differentiator is within coins and our billing. And we're going to use the K within KPAX and talk about coins and the billing structure. And why is that a unique model for us that's traditionally different, right? You have a coin that you can look at from managed device, that you can look at supplies, you can look at the meter alerts, and you can look at service alerts. So you get to choose what you want to actually track on a particular device. And I would like to ask the KPAX team, the Blue Mega team, why did you guys choose to go down that path? What did you look at when you said, all right, I want to do a unique billing model? And how did you come up with the coins?
I will answer this one, Alba. You showed us in the presentation, Mark, the different profile you can apply on the devices. Behind a profile, you give to a device the ability to get some different data. You can only get the meters or the meters and the toners alert. And if you want the more technical management. So the challenge for us was to give the possibility to create this different profile and to create a very simple system to imagine the business model of KPAX. So to explain to everyone what's the coins model, the coins, it is an internal KPAX currency, like tokens. Then you activate according to the data families you want to access on each machine, volumes or toners or end parts or technical management. This gives access to the pay for what you really use principle. So you pay for what you really use, which is not always the case on the different solutions on the market. This is a principle that is perfectly in line with our customer first philosophy. Why we arrived to do that? It's because on the early version of KPAX, we were in what I could call a traditional billing model. You pay for the machines you want to manage. But regarding the feedback from the resellers who use KPAX, they had some sort of frustration with certain uses. For example, having to pay the same price to see the competition's machine, when in reality you only need to see the brand, the model, and the volumes. Another example for a reseller who want to provide an automatic consumable delivery service on printers without worrying about volumes and technical alerts. The margin they generate just delivering consumable on printers make it harder for them to pay the full price of tracking machine. So the principle of coins is finally simple and powerful. We spend a lot of time with Albin in meeting to imagine something simple, finally simple, because when you try to cross the different possibilities, it could be a nightmare. So finally, it's simple and powerful, and it offers many perspectives. If tomorrow we want to put other objects in KPAX, like label printers, for example, you don't exactly manage the same thing on label printers. So you will apply some different rules with the coins, and offer a different level of data collection. It's easy. We just have to define a number of coins. And the coins price list, because finally, no, to use KPAX, you just have to buy some coins. The price list also benefits from a degressivity according to the volumes of coins, and everything is without commitment. So we believe that the best way to keep our customers and be good is to be good and to have a good software, to have a good finally a good network of MVPs, and to create satisfaction. The principle for us is to sell our solution as we would like to buy it. And I don't know, David, if you use the product sheet. We have a product sheet that describes the principle of coins. We explain all the philosophy and how it works. But if you have it, I really invite you to share it with your reseller. It's sum up very well the benefits of coins, which is, I think, unique and totally different.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's one of the things that when we sat down at the beginning with David and said, what do we need to do to be unique? And, this is right as COVID was hitting and the whole world was changing as far as how many devices were out there and how many businesses closed in the middle of this pandemic, which was just, no one could predict this. And one of the things that David helped us do based on your all's motto is he said, hey, let's not lock people into long-term contracts. Let's not make people pay for buckets of devices that if a dealer loses one of their larger contracts, they're still having to pay for those devices and those abilities to do meters. And so, whether it was divine intervention or whatever it was, the model that David created along with your all's help, I think, is really playing a huge part as to why people want to consider KPAX. And David, what is your talk track? What do you explain to dealers when it comes to that ability to bill in arrears and what's needed or what they're using? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I think one of the things that I've heard for years is that the traditional models around fleet management don't line up with the types of contracts that dealers are putting into the marketplace that they're using, it doesn't really help them align their incoming revenue with what they're spending for fleet management. And that's what I love about coins, and the way that we've modeled it is, Mark, as you said, we don't lock you into a big bulk of coins, and we don't lock you in for a long period of time. And I think that's what we see is prevalent in the marketplace today, is everything's very restrictive. You're locked down. You have to be locked into a contract for a year or more, and you have to probably buy more devices than you're really using. And we wanted to flip it and be just the opposite. Let you use coins to align exactly what you want. Do you want meters? Do you want supply levels on these? And then two, give you the flexibility within the contract and within what you're purchasing from ACDI to make it profitable from day one all the way, through the life of every contract.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And guys, I got a question that came in here I want to throw out to you guys right now, because I think this is perfect for our transition. There was a question that came in, is what is our ability to track Zebra printers? Do we have this capability? And if not, is it in future development? David, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question, and one, yes. So that is something that we definitely have the ability to do. And, I'm excited about it. So Zebra printers, I would even go and say, some wide format devices and expanding into that. But yeah, Zebra printers is something that we're very happy to be able to be able to support. And I want to throw that to Albin as well to expand on that.
Yeah, sure. This is something we are working on currently to support label printers. And we are really close to Zebra to make that happening. And it will become live this year. So stay tuned.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's a living product, right? And that's the thing that we're all looking at, is abilities to do that. And I think it also goes for label devices and other types of machines that we're expanding. Some of the other questions that are coming in right now is having that ability to do other your non-traditional laser devices, but looking at other how we can do that. David, there's a question coming in about charging for label printers and CPSI. You want to tackle that one?
Charging for label printers, yeah. So the way that we're looking at it, and Albin, feel free to come in, is we're going to have those built within the coin model that we have today, and be able to apply profiles for label printers as well. Now, label printers are a little different in that you're managing the media, the rolls. So in doing that in a way that, as I understand it, is going to be almost per customer, because you're not managing necessarily, you're managing to the printer level, but you're also managing to the customer level and the inventory for that. So that'll be something that is entailed. Albin, do you have anything that you want to throw into that?
Yeah, this is definitely a good example of the power of the coin system. So Zebra and most in general new kind of objects in KPAX will be driven by the coins engine. And you are right. Meters and supplies in label printers are tangled. And so I don't know exactly yet how we will what will be the number of coins, but what I know is when you will put a Zebra under management status, that will consume coins, and you will be able to have meters and supplies at the same time. So there will be no split between meters and supplies. It will be all tangled in the product as well. The beauty is the product is designed to support this kind of flexibility. So it's not a big deal for us to add that. And either, if I can go further, the product is also designed to maybe in the future support other kind of objects, such as, I don't know, large format printers or PCs or servers. I don't know, but this is what I call the next gen languages and design.
And how we've been attacking this today to specifically answer that question is charging for labels in different sizes. This is a great avenue to pair up paper cut with that. within PaperCut, you can establish an individual cost for a size of a label, or for wide format devices, you can charge by the inch or by the feet. So this is a perfect scenario to tie in a print management product along with your fleet management to allow for everything that you're doing. So you can actually see a true cost per label, how many labels they're printing, and then how it's managed on the back end from the KPAX software. So it's definitely something that ties together. Keep the questions coming in. These are great. You know, one of the questions is, can we explain the coin a little simpler? And what it is basically, for a single machine, there are 3 types of tracking that you can do. You can do for meters, as you see here. You can do for supplies and maintenance, and equipment status, so device alerts. If you want to track all 3 of these under a true MPS, then that's 3 coins that would be needed for a singular device. If all you care about is meter reads because you are just shipping out cartridges, or it's a CPP model and you're not doing supplies or you're not doing maintenance, then you would just turn on 1 coin. So each of these options here, each of these features requires a unique coin. And so you just turn that on based on what you're looking for. Maybe you just want to read of devices that you're not under management, and you want to see exactly how many pages are going on in the environment. You turn that meter read on. You can turn it on for a week, a month, or whatever, and turn it back off, right? So based on the coin model that we have, you're only billed for what you're using and what you're actually tracking.
Yeah, and Mark, there's so many different scenarios where that makes sense. You know, if you're traditionally managing meters, supplies, and the service, but then you've got a device that is end of life and you can't get parts for it anymore, you can turn that service piece off and still see when the consumables need to be replaced, still bill for meters, but reduce the cost of the management on that device. And, you know, by the same token, assessments, you know, you go into an assessment environment and you install the agent, you can see what's out there and then apply 1 coin for the volume, so that you can do that. You know, you can create that quote and that cost sheet, put it together a meaningful proposal without incurring all the expense of fully managed devices across the board. So yeah, it really does help you align.
Yeah, I got another example in the French market. I'm pretty sure you have and customers such as only look for a fleet management solution to get the meters. You know, only the meters. They don't care about the supply. They don't care about the alerts. And so resellers push you know, fleet management product, but they have to pay for the whole features pack, and it always become like a negotiation to lower the price, because the end customer only want the meters. So with a coin system, it's even, you know, simpler, because you just, you know, activate 1 coin on the meter and you don't care about the rest, and you pay for what you have and what you need. Exactly. So the price for the solution really scale the needs and the typology. Or you can be a supplier, you know, a supply vendor. When you don't care about the alerts, you don't care about the meters, you just want to get the level, because you want to you know, secure your market. Again, you will pay only for what you need. Besides, probably the benefits you'll get out of those deals will be lower than a traditional MPS contract. So it is important that the product that track the information for you and help you drive your workflow, you know, meets your revenue as well. So this is definitely those examples that help us to drive to design the coin system.
Great call. We've only got a couple of minutes left, and there's a couple other questions I do want to get to, but let me show this screen. Kind of what we really want to happen is, there was a question that came in about pricing, and we would love to get to the pricing, and we'll show you all of that, where the coins start at. But you can go to ACDI's website. We did post the link in the chat window. And if you want some more information, just send us a note, let us know, get a hold of David or any of your ACDI sales reps, and we will be glad to walk you through a demo, get you set up with the Liberty box that you can test out, answer any kind of questions. we can explain our ACDI KPAX business services to you, where we have a full support team on the back end that if you don't have time to make the switch over and convert all of your customers from your current fleet management today to KPAX, we can help you do that. We're doing that for many, many partners today, where we'll call up and we'll make sure that all of the agents get installed for you to help with that transition. But David, there was a question that came in that with regarding cost. Can you kind of just give a real high level where we start at in our pricing models and what does that look like on the coins?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we've got, you know, different packages, and the way that we do it is we do a very small amount of coins on a monthly basis. You pay for the coins on a monthly basis. I think they go from anywhere from 18 cents down to 2 cents per coin, all the way to, depending on the volume that you have. So it is volume based. And again, it allows you to scale. The big thing with our subscription model is it includes the use of the software. It includes the hosting of the software. It includes the support from ACDI. And even, you know, one of the things that we haven't covered today, but KPAX also gives you the ability to manage your own API connections. So all those third-party integrations that you need, you don't have to call us to get an API key. You can generate it right out of KPAX. So you get all of those things included for that subscription model. And again, it's low entry point, it's scalable, and really, again, from day one to all the way through the life of your contracts, really makes things easy.
Good. Well, we are at the top of the hour. There was a lot of great questions, and we do really want to say thank you again to everyone, and especially to the Blue Mega team for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
To talk a little bit more about KPAX and the partnership. We value that tremendously, and please reach out to us. Let us know if you're a CDA member or if you're a BPCA member. We have unique programs for you all that we have extended to your groups that are beyond the standard dealer program. Mm-hmm. So reach out to us. We value those buying groups and a lot. So just let us know if you're part of those. We can help you with some additional pricing discounts. But with that, we'll say thank you, and we'll wait to hear from you. Gentlemen, thank you guys. You all have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Sebastian. Thanks, Alban. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Friends.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.